everybody, Chris Shipley with Shipley Pest Solutions. Wanted to discuss sort of the July, middle of summer insects. Now that we're July, we're moving into the heart of the summer here. We're going to start to hit some of our peak temperatures of the season, July, August. So these sort of problem or insects to be on the lookout for are going to be reflected basically because of the weather. Some of it's going to be because of the hot extremes. Some of it's going to be because of no rains. That doesn't appear to be it this year, however. We've had a ton of rain recently. And so these insects that I'm going to mention will move because of the two extremes. So the first extreme being extreme weather, hot, 90, 95 degrees, no rain for a couple weeks on end. Insects will start to move inside in search of that moisture to get out of that heat, and even move their colonies. If they're social insects like ants or such, will move inside. Other extreme is a ton of rain. They will literally get flooded out of the soil wherever their summer harborages are, and they will come inside to get out of the rain. So it's kind of, chicken and the egg thing. But if we get kind of a happy medium, things just kind of stay in place. The ants stay outside. They're happy. They want to be outside. They forage outside. The other insects such as ground beetles, the roly-polies, which are a pill bug or a sow bug. Those insects, the ground-crawling insects, will predominantly just stay outside and occasionally end up inside. So first on the list, and this is in no particular order of threat or anything like that, but we've been getting a lot of June bug calls. Those are the small brown beetle type insect. They look like a peanut. They're harmless to humans. They are emerging and hatching in Indiana here, predominantly in June, hence the name June bug. So they'll hatch out of the soil, come out, they feed, they mate. They'll end up on your patios, your entryways, anywhere where there's overnight lighting predominantly, and they will die. Their life cycle's rather short. They're harmless to humans. The other sort of June bug, they're kind of in the same beetle kind of classification, is a Japanese beetle. And Japanese beetles, I think everyone knows them by now. Those are the pesky little insects that get on a lot of the fruit-bearing plants, and they will really, really eat up your fruit-bearing plants, such as strawberries. A lot of people will put the hangers out, the bags, things like that to catch them. You can use over-the-counter products such as like a 7 Dust, which is that powder that you can place. Follow the label, of course, always. But Japanese beetles, again, going to be harmless to humans, but they're starting to come out and be a pest now that you've got some of your fruit, tomato plants predominantly, are starting to become fruit-bearing, and so those will be a nuisance on there. So second one on the list here, again, for July into the heart of summer, are earwigs. They are known for that pinchy, looking thing on the back of their body. That is harmless. Yes, they can pinch or attach to humans, but they can't really do any harm. They're going to end up in homes right now, again, predominantly when it gets hot and dry, because what they do is they eat decomposing organic matter. So that's going to be like your grass clippings, leaf litter, any type of shrubbery, bushes, stuff like that that's up against the house. That's what they eat. And occasionally, earwigs specifically seem to really bother slab foundation homes more so than homes with basement. Because on a slab foundation home, your slab's going to be 6 inches. They'll come up over the sill plate and they come right in. Now they're in at ground level, and oftentimes they show up in bathrooms. And in bathrooms, they're going to eat things like human hair. And so that's oftentimes why they end up in there. And people go, oh yeah, I keep seeing them in the bathroom or something. Well, they can eat technically human hair because that's decomposing organic matter. But again, they're harmless. I know they freak people out. And they're going to be up against that foundation because of that decomposing organic matter. So lots of times a leaf blower blowing against the foundation or cleaning a lot of that debris away from the house can actually help. We do a lot of treatments for them, of course, with a heavy focus on that foundation. It will become an issue predominantly if it gets dry and stays hot and dry, as they will be against that foundation and end up inside as they continue to look for food. I mentioned them before with the extremes, so we're going to have, these are all going to kind of be ground crawling insects. So we've got like ground beetles, which ground beetles are going to be the bigger black beetle, crunchy when you step on them, harmless to humans. They will start wandering inside again because of the two extremes, mostly because of long dry spells and heat. They will end up inside. Those roly-polies, pill bugs, sow bugs, those will end up inside for the same reason, and then ants. Again, ants, they want to be outside. They want to forage outside. Right now, ants, they really want those carbohydrates. They want those sugars. They're going, I mean, those ants are just, I mean, basically, ants are running on 100%. They're running at max RPM all day long right now in the summer. And so they want to be outside. They want to naturally forage on those flowering plants and bushes and things that you have out in your yard and in your landscaping. And so we do start to get a lot of those calls with the two extremes, the swings. Lots of rain, which we've had recently, so we'll probably see an uptick in ant calls, and barely any rain for extended periods of time, like 2 weeks. And again, it's just one and the same. They're looking to either get away from the rain or go find moisture and water sources. So those will kind of continue to be an issue. Ants, again, will stay outside, and they want to be outside until about October. We start to get those 40-degree nights, then they will start to look to literally just move those colonies inside the foundation, inside the block wall, inside or directly adjacent, underneath that slab, until, they'll stay outside till about October. Last but certainly not least, and this becomes this is the biggest threat to humans, and continues to be an increasing threat here as we get into August, September, and kind of ends in October. But that's stinging insects. So this is going to be any type of wasp, which we've got paper wasps, yellow jackets, and then you're going to have hornets, bald-faced hornets, which we had a video about them recently. And those nests right now are, a lot of the wasp type nests, those nests are going to be starting to reach peak size. And so you're going to start to get some of those nests that have 100, certainly a few dozen in them. They go from a shower head, a little shower head. In May, June, they build again, and then now they're dinner plate, pancake, hornet nests. Again, I killed and removed one the other day that was bowling ball size. That was rather large. Those are going to continue to be a nuisance. They get found a lot right now because most of the time, May, June, they start out real small. Like a hornet nest, they'll start out golf ball, baseball, softball, and now they're starting to be volleyball and bowling ball size. And so people will start to find them with lawnmowers. They're hanging on bushes. You'll run over those yellow jacket nests that are in the ground. You run over them with a lawnmower. Holy cow, there's dozens. I got stung. July is when those start to be found. And we start getting those calls here in July. And again, that will increase into August and September. In my experience, this appears as though this is going to be a bad stinging insect season. The reason I say that is we haven't had a couple hard winters, the past few winters. We had an early warm up in spring. We've had a fair amount of rain. So the conditions have been very, very conducive for insects, for Mother Nature in general. Just look at the crops. I mean, the corn's already shoulder, head high in most places. And the old moniker used to be knee high by 4th of July. And so Mother Nature's doing well. And typically when we have these, and if it gets hot, stinging insect season will be really bad. And so I think that's going to be probably the most important thing to kind of pay attention to is those stinging insects. Those nests are going to start to really become visible as we go through July, enter into August and September. And eventually you'll start to get these gigantic paper nests that are, 2 feet wide, 2 feet tall, and that kind of culminates there in September. So just kind of your July and really midsummer insects to start to kind of keep an eye out for and just bring attention to. We're servicing all of them with exception to the June bugs. The June bugs, our general pest application will take care of them, but they're not a nuisance. Same with the Japanese beetles. Those are going to be more of a garden bug, and most people can take care of them on their own. But just some things to pay attention to, and really the weather. The weather is going to play an important role here over the next 2 to 4 weeks and sort of set the tone for the rest of the season. If it stays hot and wet, things are going to move. They're going to move inside, and you're going to start to see that increased presence of ants on your countertop, maybe some ground beetles, some roly-polies, those earwigs moving in. If it stays hot and dry, again, they're going to move in because of that hot extreme. But really, if we could just get kind of a happy medium, things will stay in place here until about September. And kind of nature will just do its thing, and it just kind of is what it is. But hope this is helpful and informational for people. Ask me questions. Would love to answer them. We'll see you around.